Whenever countries intermingle, one of the first things that changes is their food. And tonight, we're going to talk about how other countries have influenced Japanese food. Hi, I'm Faye, and this is how I plan for Japan. Though it's becoming less and less that way. So, we're going to be talking about some different types of food and how they've influenced Japanese food culture, but also ways that Japanese food culture have influenced it back. So there are a lot of these. Um, we're gonna start with a couple that are like a couple that are around the same region. So, for example, ramen, as we've done multiple videos on it now, is actually originally a Chinese dish. So yeah, definitely an interaction between the two countries, and it is very much making me think of the fact that curry is the national dish of England, even though they took it from someone else. Like ramen might not be the national dish of Japan, which I would assume would be sushi, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's at least top three. Uh, Other things on that list are dim sums, which obviously also from China, and gyozas, which I'll be honest, I thought were Japanese, but also post World War II, soldiers came back from invading China, and they brought back dim sums and gyozas, which are realistically just two different kinds of dumplings. On top of this, if we go a little bit further to the west, we hit curry, because curry is a huge thing in Japan, and they do a couple of different variations of it. So the most common one, which is like your, how do I put this nicely? It's like your microwave quality, like I'm just heating up an instant meal kind of deal. That is very much Indian inspired curry. Whereas there are some curries where it's almost, if you saw it and didn't realize that curry is such a wide spanning thing, you wouldn't think it's a curry. Um, think more Thai green curry as opposed to Indian brown curry or orange curry, because those are the only two colors. Being an Australian, seeing Indian dishes, they're the only two colors that actually come. You actually get Indian food in Australia. Though that might just be because Australia's kind of trash. Next up, we have the hamburger or the Hamburg, which they just decided, hey, we're not going to bother with this fucking bun. And they do it as just beef patty with sauce. Um, though the thing about that is, I don't know. It, so it's derived from a German dish, but I feel like just you chuck a slab of meat together, chuck some sauce over the top of it. It's a bit much saying that came from one place because everywhere does that. Let's be real. Well, here you go, here you chuck it in a pan, it becomes a meatloaf, same thing. Because let's be real, we're all slicing that fucker up. It's gonna be dry and kind of gross, and unless it's done immaculately, though I've never had that because, well, my mum. But the same thing can happen with hamburger steaks. They're you'll if they're not done properly, or they're just kind of put into reheat, they're gonna come out shitty and dry, and that's gonna be true either way. So country number three or region number three is Portugal. Portugal has introduced. Sorry, I missed one. We'll come back to that. Portugal has introduced two things to Japan. One of which is the castella, which is a sponge cake, which didn't realize was Portuguese, but again, that's sponge cakes are everywhere. Um, it is a castle cake. There you go. And is now a big thing in Nagasaki. After that, we have tempura, which I'll be honest, I hear tempura, I'm not thinking Portuguese. Um, but it's also again one of those things where it's like, can we really say that this is a truly Portuguese thing? Because the Portuguese didn't introduce to them like your panko style tempura crumbing. They just battered fish veg and deep fried it. So did the English. I feel like Portugal's kind of just trying to steal this thing, though. For real, they're gonna try and steal something. Nobody remembers Portugal as a thing half the time. You can also get a lot of American style foods, mostly in your fast foods. Hamburgers, the fact that they have McDonald's, the fact that you get Taco Bell style foods, that's less American and more North America American. Uh, they also is a lot of kimchi and apparently bulgogi is a big thing as well. I have yet to see anything referencing bulgogi though, apart from this list of foods that have come from other countries. But the thing that I said we double back to was part of our Western influence, which is spaghetti, also known as wafu pasta. And the reason I wanted to come back to it is that Japan does some things where it's like, yeah, this is just traditional food, which is like your Napolitano. Your Napoleon, um, which is just spaghetti, sauce, cheese, maybe a little bit of veg and sausage. The flip side, and this is where Japan influences right back, is they also have Manteiko spaghetti, which is spaghetti with spicy salmon roe. Sorry, spicy cod roe. Which I gotta be honest with you, I don't want to be biting through my pasta and just get every other bite. Roe is my least favorite kind of Japanese food that I've tried so far. And yeah, I'm that one I think Japan can keep. But that's gonna do it for tonight. I hope this has been educational. If you've learnt something tonight, let me know what it was down below. Uh, if you haven't, let me know down below that I should learn how to teach you better. But I've been Faye. You've been awesome. I'll see you all tomorrow.